Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Currency of Anarchy. I'm Josh Davis.
I'm Johnny Moss.
And if you'd like to be a part of the conversation during our live taping, please check us out at youtube.com/user/Cur of Anarchy on Mondays at 9 p.m., 6 p.m. Pacific. And you can see the final product on the air at youtube.com/Cur of Anarchy on Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern. Please check us out at our Facebook page, facebook.com/Cur of Anarchy. If you're here during the live taping, you can check out the Q&A feature that's on the YouTube. Just post any question and comments, and we'll certainly get to it. And now a word from our sponsors.
Holly Cogburn runs Homebody, a body care, vanity, and cosmetic products company. She contracts using USD, Bitcoin, homebody products, and fresh produce. She is proud to say that she started the business without the assistance of bank loans. In her words, fuck bank loans and fuck their interest rates. For the most part, fuck banks. She paid for costs out of pocket and has steadily and sustainably grown from there. She believes in a free, fair, and reputation-based market, so please find Holly at homebodyco.com or facebook.com/homebodyco. Introducing a customized media player with no monthly fees. A one-time purchase and installation of this device and you're ready to watch the latest movies and TV shows for free. Anything you can imagine or want to watch can be found on the box connected to your home internet connection. These units are locked and loaded using Android and Linux technology. You get access to over 7,000 channels all over the world, live, including sporting events, pay-per-view, wrestling, boxing, and more. Google Play Store comes pre-installed with access to all Android apps, including Popcorn Time, Showbox, Netflix, Facebook, Pandora, and more. All units are rooted and have capability to download or play from a USB or external hard drive. Please call Paul at 978-335-9842 or email him directly at info@paulhennick.com.
And yeah, John Moss, it's just you and me tonight. Michael can't show up, or at least we haven't heard from him yet. And I'd like to, thank you for being part of this show, even before you were a host, but now you're going to help us out here. So that's awesome. Thanks, John.
Oh, thanks for having me. I always had fun every time I'm on, and it's just something cool to do, so I don't mind doing it.
Yeah, I really do appreciate it because just a couple minutes ago you were saying that you might be interested in helping edit these shows, so that might help me take initiative to actually start this website here. So thanks. I'm gonna go off topic. We have a list of topics to go through, but you and I were just talking about potentially teaching me how to fire a gun soon. Yeah, that I've never done before. That's for sure. I haven't even tried. I've never even gave it much thought until just a few years ago. I actually have reason to own a gun now. And yeah, I'd like to protect what I'm building here in my own life. So yeah, this sounds really good. And you and I are going to be meeting up for the first time this month. Yeah, PorcFest is coming up.
Yeah.
So
PorcFest 2015. I can't wait.
Yeah, man. So tell me about your mini gun collection you got from your grandfather.
He's just the guy's getting up there in age, and he can't handle one anymore. My wife and I were the only people in our entire family who have our proper government permission slip, so he handed me the castle, so to speak. It was a bunch of guns. There were two really little ones. You want to see them?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
This one's broken right now. I was shooting it off the other day and the firing pin broke. So this thing's basically a paperweight right now. It's a Sterling Arms 22 semi-automatic. Little, 6-round magazine, pretty small. And
looks like he kept it in good condition, though.
Oh yeah, it's in great condition. It's really tiny. You can see how small it is. Definitely great for a conceal. 22, I mean, you're not really going to stop too many people, but it doesn't have the stopping power of, say, a 9mm or something bigger, like a 40 or 45. But I'm pretty sure if you fucking shoot somebody, they might think twice about advancing on you. And this little thing here is another little tiny piece. It's a 25 caliber. Again, this thing is a paperweight. There's some, you can maybe see this metal piece here. It's all wobbly and screwy and it doesn't fire. Again, it's a paperweight, but I think I can get this fixed at like a metalsmith.
Okay.
You know, it might cost more to fix than the gun's worth, but the thing's cool, dude. Just look at it. It's like a little 1911.
Kind of reminds me of like 007 or something.
Yeah. This thing's tiny.
Nice.
Those are the only two I have down here because, like I said, they can't even be fired. The rest of them are either locked up or put away, and I don't really feel like going to get them. But I'll talk about them, sure.
Yeah.
My wife has a Ruger LC9. It's a 9mm. It's a semi-auto. I like it. It's nice and compact. And I have a revolver upstairs, an old Smith & Wesson, came from my grandfather. It's a 357 Magnum, which is quite a hand cannon. Yeah. That thing's pretty nice. I also have a 1022, which is a 22 caliber rifle. Ask any gun enthusiast, and they'll tell you that the 1022 is pretty much the standard solid rifle. I mean, it's a good piece.
Are they? There's a lot of jerking with the big rifle, or
no? A 22 caliber rifle barely has any kick at all. I shoot it at my in-laws all the time, and there's hardly a kickback. It's got the kickback of like a cap gun.
Oh, okay.
22. I wish I had some 22 bullets down here to show you, but they're really, really tiny, and they don't have a lot of kick at all.
All right. Yeah, sounds good.
I mean, and I'm no expert either. This is just what I've learned up to now.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm totally dead in the water here. I have no idea what to talk
about. I'll be able to help get you started, but like I said, I'm not really an expert, but I can get you in the same direction that I went.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's different too. It's state by state. So I had to pretty much sell off my unborn child in Connecticut to get a gun license. But it might be different for you in Massachusetts. I don't know what your state laws are.
Oh, again, I just moved up to New Hampshire, so I should be better off.
Oh, you guys, they pretty much passing out in Happy Meals up there.
Yeah, so the thing is, in Massachusetts, as far as I know, if you were to transport a gun, you have to lock it down in your trunk or something like that. Just because cops are the only ones that are allowed to have a gun at all. As far as
Yeah, remember that story about there was that mother, I forget where she was from or where she was driving through. I think it was Pennsylvania, but she got stopped, and she's a concealed carry holder, and she was just passing through states, and she ended up getting in a lot of trouble with the police. This was a while ago. Right.
Yeah, I don't know. Just stay in New Hampshire. Once you come up here, just stay here, man.
What we had to go through to get a gun in Connecticut, and anybody listening who's in a real a state where it's easy to get some guns is probably going to hit the floor when they hear this. The short version is it took each of us about $300 to get our gun license. It was $85 each for the gun class, because you have to take a safety course and pass it. So that was $85 each. Then we had to get fingerprinted state and federal. We had to pay for that. That was like another $70 or so each. And then you had to pay $70 for the temporary license while you waited for your permanent license. Then once your permanent license came in, it cost $70.
Wow.
Yeah, and then you have to renew it every 5 years for $70.
Well, they could. Huh?
I was going to say, you can't even buy ammo in Connecticut without a certificate permission.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You can't just walk into Walmart and buy some 22 without a permit.
Well, it does make sense from their point of view.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like if you're gonna, regulate guns, you might as well regulate the stuff that it comes.
Oh, yeah. Get every dollar you can.
Yeah, that's it.
If you don't have a pistol permit, you can buy an ammo certificate for $30, and that'll let you buy ammo.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit better than if you were to drive on the roads. You have to pay a license fee every 2 years, and you have to pay registration every 2 years or whatever it is, and you have to pay for the inspection every year and all this other stuff.
This is all money going down the federal black hole too. Like it just goes to government. You never see it again.
No, that's it. Take your liberty as you can.
Right.
I don't know. It kind of reminds me of what our first actual topic is, the Patriot Act. So, in theory, the Patriot Act will be off the law books either today or tonight or something like that. Officially, there is no more Patriot Act. But, of course,
officially,
will you see the TSA actually disappear? Will you see, the NSA disappear? Will you see the FBI stop doing whatever they're doing? And, it's all nonsense. It's not actually going to stop. If you actually believe that the Patriot Act is officially gone, well, it's officially gone, but if you believe that it's actually gone, you're naive.
It's just going to resurface in some other form, some other name, some other, it's not going to go away. They're basically changing the name. Let's see what they're going to put in replacement of the Patriot Act.
Yeah. And they're just going to call the leftover NSA security guards. Well, actually, they should have been. They should have been private security, but they shouldn't be hired by the government is what I'm trying to imply here. But, it shouldn't be mandatory that the NSA is absolutely in every airport. And, it was actually, everything was fine up until 9/11. And then, you have to have pat downs. You have to be, groped. Or you have to be looked at through an X-ray. It's unreal, let's check out everybody's body parts. That's really what's going on here.
It's not for them. It's for the masses. The masses feel safe when they're doing that. I actually can't even count how many times, and this is what's really mind-boggling to me. I can't count how many times I've heard somebody say, "Well, yeah, I don't mind them snooping around if it keeps me safe. I'm okay with losing a little freedom for blah 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 blah," and it just doesn't comprehend with me. I just don't get it.
No.
I can't relate at all.
It's scary to believe that people actually want to give up their, right or the ability to travel. So what happens is people go in line at the airport, for example, and they want to get on a plane and they want to be at a certain place, within 2 hours or something. And, they love ripping the airline a new one if they're even like 5 minutes late. But it's okay for them to stand in line to be groped by the government. That's okay. I'll give up my time for that. Maybe I get a perverse pleasure out of it. Or maybe, there are terrorists out there. Bullshit. That's just bullshit. How can you believe that? I can't understand it. How can you believe what the media tells you every time? People love to, rip the internet a new one. You don't believe anything you hear on the internet. Don't believe everything you read on the internet. But, don't criticize what some encyclopedias are saying, and definitely don't criticize the media. Absolutely not.
2 reasons: because it's comforting and because people are lazy. it's comforting because they hear it on the news, and they hear, oh, the TSA is doing this and TSA is doing that, and so far there have been no attacks and blah blah blah, and it comforts them. It makes them feel better, and it gives them this false sense of security. Like, okay, good, this groping thing is working. It's working out. Let's continue the groping. Let's take it a step further. How much more can we do? And it's laziness because it requires no critical thought at all. You're just blindly accepting what the TV is telling you, just assuming that all is well and correct, and it's laziness. It's intellectual laziness.
It's more hypocriticism, or what do you call that? Whatever. It's hypocritical to believe that that some people at an airline can grope women, but it's feminine, or it's patriarchy for people to go to a strip club or something like that. Come on. You're going to be morally objective. Most people aren't, but if you're going to be, take out the groping. That's a great idea. Unless you do it at home, that's when it's fun.
Consensual,
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, but that is amazing to me, and people are saying that Rand Paul is actually doing some good by getting rid of the Patriot Act, and well, in a sense, he's right, but is he actually getting rid of the problem, or is it just all lip service? So this, as far as I understand, was headed up by Rand Paul, and if this is true, and it actually gets something done, I will give him credit. But at the same time, he's a politician. I still can't believe him. And again, the only politician I've ever understood was Ron Paul, and even then, he's still not quite an anarchist. So, but it's still, whatever. I'm not here to criticize politicians. I'm here to criticize the government altogether. So you all suck. All right. Right. So enough of the NSA and all this other stuff. Well, actually, let's talk more about that. I do find it ironic that we're doing this show on Google Plus, and we're doing this show on YouTube. Google being one of the greatest people in the private sector for the government. They're really continuing this NSA kind of shit, and they help. I know they do, but we do it anyway. We use their devices. I use their Android phone, whatever. I'm attached. What can I say? I'm attached, and it's only to spread the message. Otherwise, I'd be off of Facebook altogether. I know it. I would be off, there'd be no currency of anarchy at all, actually, because this is the only way that anarchy really can spread is through the internet, in my opinion, and through agorist kind of means. But it's hard to spread the message of anarchy just to a surrounding town. That's it.
Well, if it's any consolation, man, when you head up to Pork Fest and you see the entire campground just swarming with voluntarists who get what you're saying, it's so awesome to meet people in real life who actually do share these values, and it'll make you feel better. It'll make you feel like someone is listening. People are listening out there, and they're getting it.
That's true. Actually, this whole what do you call it? I don't want to call it a political movement, but it is, I guess. This whole anarchism thing really has spawned about because of Ron Paul, and through him, Tom Woods and Lou Rockwell and Stephen Molyneux and all these other people. They've really kind of created this anarchist commune? No, that's not it. Community. Man, I need to find my words better tonight.
Yeah, right.
I don't really want to be a, ANCOM. But anyway, so what I am thinking is it's the only way we can do it is through the internet. But what if there's another way? Maybe, actually, now that's a really interesting idea. Maybe we should create a mail service just for anarchists.
Yeah, good luck with that. Ask Lysander Spooner how that went.
Oh, really? Can you tell me about that? Am I missing something?
Well, Lysander Spooner, didn't he have a mail delivery service that the government shut down?
Really? I didn't know that.
Really? Didn't. Yeah, it was called like I don't remember what the hell it's called. The American Letter Mail Company or something like that.
Wow.
I can look it up. You guys look it up.
Yeah. That's a great idea, though.
Because he had his own mail delivery service, and the government shut him down.
Damn, I really can't get an original idea out of me ever. All right, but no, that's interesting stuff. Wow. But yeah, what we should be doing is trying to communicate without Google and without Facebook, and we should use something else. Is what I'm trying to get at. Yeah, it definitely through the internet though, because damn, that's fast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I don't really. I mean, what would you suggest? Maybe like the deep web, like Tor or something. But then it's only your audience is still limited, and it's likely to be an echo chamber anyway. Those guys already get that kind of stuff. That's why they're on the deep web.
Well, that's the whole thing. That's I feel like we're talking to the same kind of audience. For a long time, I was doing the Currency of Democracy as a local show, but again, it was a very limited audience, though it did spread the whole town, as opposed to you have to find it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At least it was on Channel 3. People could, if people are still playing video games on Channel 3, then they'll run into me. You know what I mean? Anyway. Yeah, maybe there's a way we can do that, but we'll talk about that in the future.
Sure.
Yeah, let me dive right into what you and I really want to talk about, and that's silver and gold and Bitcoin. So the prices tonight. Let me talk about that first. Last time we did this show was May 18th, and tonight being June 1st, I took the prices at $8.40 tonight. Silver last time was $17.68. Tonight it's $16.73. That's a 95-cent drop. That's 5.4%. Gold went from $1223.90 to $1188.43. That's $35.47. That's 2.9%. And Bitcoin went from $233.24 to $223.58. That's $9.66 drop. That's 4.1%. Everything went down over the last 2 weeks. That's how long it's been since we did the show with Robert. But I think that we're finally seeing, well, not finally. Over the last, say, 6 months, I think gold and silver have been about even. And even Bitcoin, now that I think about it, they've been basically, Bitcoin's been in the 220 to 300 range, and which is kind of a wide range, really. But gold has been around 1,100, 1,200, and silver's been around 1,650 to 17, actually a little bit bigger of a range. But it's been like that for 6 months, probably longer. And I feel like, well, prices always do seem to go up in September. So my guess is September things are going to go up, and quite a bit at that in this case, because well, prices seem to kind of fluctuate quickly after 7 years. So what is this? 2015. Right, it was 2008 that we did. We had this big crash, and prices went up actually in 2011. So I could be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, but I do think there's going to be a crash in the stock market too.
Yeah.
Also, What was it then? 2011. I'm not sure. But I believe that 2004 there was a big uptick in silver and gold as well. But the real point is that they seem to drastically change. When they go up, they go up. The last time silver went up to about $42. The time before that, it was $50. Gold's basically just been steadily going up. The highest it's ever been was about $1,900, and that was in 2011. So maybe my timing is off for this big, move up, if you will, for silver, gold, Bitcoin. But I believe that there will be a crash in the stock market, and a lot of this probably will have to do with China and Russia buying all these amounts of gold, especially China. They're the ones that hold it really, and they're creating this new currency of their own. And well, most likely, India's got a big vault of gold now. I believe Venezuela, somewhere else does as well. Maybe it was Chile. I can't remember. Anyway, so there have been a lot of big buys in gold, and there were a couple of countries in Europe that have repatriated their gold as well. We're talking in terms of countries. Yes, we're anarchists, but we have to realize the reality of the situation. And we do know that all of these countries are securing gold, whether it's to get rid of the dollar or get rid of the euro, or just they don't believe in these currencies. That would be nice. That won't happen. But I do know they'll create a new currency, or they'll use a current currency, or they'll use gold. That would be great. Probably not. And the dollar will fall off. The euro is basically on its last legs, in my opinion, too. Japan's been inflating its currency for a year or so. So I believe that something drastic will be happening in the next, well, in my opinion, by the end of the year. Probably September. That's my guess, because September seems to be that time of the year. I don't know why, but it is. Anyway, any thoughts, Jon? I know that you know the fundamentals of silver and gold, and probably Bitcoin too, because you bought into Bitcoin as well, right? Yeah. What do you have any opinions on what's going on in the state of the world right now, or?
You pretty much got it. Everybody's inflating their currency, and it's been going on long enough. I don't know if it'll be by the end of this year. I mean, right. I think that might be kind of hard to guess, but I'm pretty sure that it's going to happen at some point. It kind of has to. I mean, we're 18 trillion in debt, and that's not even the real number. It goes up to, I think the last count was 200 trillion when you take into consideration the unfunded liabilities and all that mess. And I mean, these markets have to crash. They have to. So I'm a big fan of gold and silver too, to protect yourself against that.
Yeah. I'd say markets don't have to crash, but the system has to crash. Yeah, because every system, every currency, every paper currency has to crash, in my opinion. Gold and silver can't crash. It's fundamental. It's literally, it can't burn up. That's the way I think of it. Right. I mean, that's way too simplistic, but still, it's really simplistic. But I think that, as you inflate the dollar or whatever currency, you just lose its value. And it's funny because the most important part is a person's labor, right? You put work into something, you want it to have value and staying power, right? So if I give you $20 for an hour's worth of work, let's say, right? You want to be able to save that money, let's say. You don't want to spend it right away. You put it away. Now, if you put it away, currently, a paper $20 bill, it's going to inflate away to nothing. You know, the value of it is going to just disappear. But the old way is that if you work now, then that will mean something over time. So like $20 literally turns into $21 after 10 years. So, and in value, because your labor means something. And if you worked before, not after, then, you know, the market actually pays generously for that. We appreciate you putting in work as opposed to spending right away. You know, that's capitalism. And, you know, that term gets convoluted quite a bit. And you know what? We could get into that too. But it's just really sad that, you know, people spend so much, spend so quickly. They don't save. Nobody saves. And really, in a way, how can you blame anyone? How can you blame anyone for not saving? It doesn't mean anything in the future.
Right. It's tough. I mean, you know, my wife and I, we're just like everybody else out there, living paycheck to paycheck, and you need every dollar for gas or groceries or something, anything that happens. I mean, God forbid you get like a speeding ticket or something, it'll end you because you just don't have that extra $150 or $200. I mean, everything is stretched so thin that, yeah, who the hell can save these days? Who can do it?
Right. But, and it's funny because if you aren't able to save and you aren't able to pay that speeding ticket, and let's say you lose your house, you can't even sleep under the bridge anymore because they put spikes. Have you seen that before?
No, but I'm not. No, but I'm not surprised.
No, it's sad. It's so. Why would you do that to your fellow man? Like, you got to be kidding me.
This is the state for you. They don't care. They assert their dominance over you, and you either bow to it or you go to war with them.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And okay, so let's get into this word of capitalism, if you don't mind. My thing is, yes, I subscribe to this idea of capitalism. Capitalism is actually a good thing because it produces wealth. It produces capital, which you can use to produce more capital, which you can produce more, you know, because really capital is just tools. This is how it was taught to me. You know, capital is not just money. It is your hammer, your hands, your labor. That is capital. You know, so the idea of just work being important is totally incorrect. All of it matters. So if you produce, let's say your hands produce a hammer, which in turn you make use of to produce a house, which you make use of to help, you know, house a family. That's all capital. You know what I mean? To me, that is, that's kind of the whole point of capitalism is not to necessarily do better than the other person. Yes, there is competition involved here. Yes, of course, but that helps breed a better society. It can't. The convolution of or the conflation of capitalism and corporatism, to me, it just irks the shit out of me. Because it's just not completely true, you know. Do you have? I know you don't have any opinion here, so, or do you? Do you?
Oh, I used to. I used to have a real strong opinion about capitalism, and I guess on paper, by definition, yes, I am an anarcho-capitalist. My thoughts lately have been changing through influence of a few people I talk to online and really smart people, basically saying that economics really doesn't matter. The whole anarcho-capitalist versus anarcho-communist war that's going on, for lack of a better term, is really counterproductive. The state is the problem, not our economics. If we can just put the nonsense aside and end the state, the problem, we can have capitalism over here. You guys can have communism over there. You can have socialism over here, and whatever other anarcho hyphens. I know there's like 20 of them that I know of, and every day I hear a new one. Anarcho-transhumanism was introduced.
Yeah, right.
Are you fucking kidding me? What is anarcho-transhumanism? And I just lost it. That was Michael King, Mike Freeman, was talking to me about that.
Yeah, I've heard of anarcho-syndicalism, right? Mutualism, agorism. That makes perfect sense, actually.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah, there's a few funny ones like anarcho-feminism or whatever. What?
Yeah.
Yeah. There should be a anarcho-privilegism.
I'll subscribe to that one. My white cis male privilege.
Right. Yeah, I get where you're coming from. I really do get where you and Michael come from.
Yeah, I mean,
I do.
He was telling me about anarcho-transhumanism. I said, what the fuck is anarcho-transhumanism? And after he explained it to me, it was that moment I can pinpoint that my thought process started changing. Like, this is bullshit. There's anarcho this, anarcho that, and all it is producing all this fucking infighting and not producing anything. Nobody is ending the state. Nobody's even talking about it. We're too busy bickering at each other over whose economic theory is better. And I think without the state, everybody can have their own economic way of doing things, and time and results will tell which ones are the best. And maybe some people just like one over the other, but it doesn't matter. There'll be no state to get in the way of any of them.
Well, it's kind of good to have this infighting as well because, while we don't end the state, we can maybe improve our arguments so that we can persuade others to join the anarchist cause, maybe. But at the same time, yes, we should focus more on how the hell are we going to end the state? Now, the irony is that how we end the state really does matter because do we use it or do we do that through aggression or non-aggression? That's kind of a big deal if you think about it, because if you try to end the state through, the classical anarchist way of, throwing, grenades or something.
Pitchforks and Molotov cocktails.
Yeah, all that. Then you're not going to get the message across to your statist, even though they should see that the state does that all the time. Violence is wrong, period. But they won't get that. And they will be afraid because they're used to how the state deals out violence. But at the same time, if we try to persuade others, it really might take a long time and they might get violent. Mm-hmm. So it's really it's difficult. And the only way I know to do it is through communication through the internet. That's really the only thing I got right now. What do you got?
I lost my train of thought. That's what I did.
I mean,
peaceful means over violent means. I think that the difference is strategic versus practical. For example, I believe it is morally justified, and you can make this argument. It is morally justified to shoot your mailman in the face. Is it strategically viable? I don't have to answer that one. You know the answer to that. You shoot the mailman. What's that going to get you? Dead or behind bars the rest of your life. Take it. Let's get more realistic. Obviously, you're not going to shoot the mailman. Shooting a police officer is like just walking up and shooting them for no reason. Is it morally justified? Yes. Their job entails instigating violence among peaceful people all day long.
And extortion anyway.
Extortion, yeah, all this stuff. Their job is based on that. It is morally justified to absolutely take them out one by one. Is it strategically viable? No, absolutely not. A couple have already tried, and what's happened? Another person portrayed on the news as crazy, and he's locked up, and people forget about them. It does nothing to end the state, which is why I don't exactly lose sleep when I hear about a cop getting shot, but I absolutely do not recommend anybody in the liberty movement to start taking out cops. It is so counterproductive.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a really tough one. So the thing is,
it legitimizes
too. Yeah, it totally legitimizes it. Yeah, absolutely. That's the whole problem, really, in the end. It's the whole problem. Now, the issue is, if that's true, are we just in a complete, what do you call that? Or are we could be opening up a Pandora's box as well, now that I think about it, which would be good. The way I see this Pandora's box is, if enough people do it at the right time with the message getting out on the internet somehow, then maybe we have a Pandora's box that will shut the gates of government forever. But at the same time, probably not, because too many people are wrapped up in the paradigm. Also, I also think that we're in this there's no way out scenario, because if you use the non-aggression path, then you'll never get the message across. If you use the aggression path, then you'll never get the message across. So I don't know. There has to be this tipping point, maybe.
Well, think of how many people were complete and total slave status before they heard of Ron Paul.
Right.
And then once Ron Paul came along, he created this influx of libertarians like you've never seen before. So, who's going to be the next Ron Paul, so to speak, to start spreading these ideals? Which is why I absolutely support Jeff Berwick running for Libertarian Party in Canada. Absolutely. He knows he's not going to win, and it's not about winning. Using the system, their own system, to spread ideals. And if, let's just say, by some stroke of lightning miracle, Jeff Berwick gets elected and he actually wins, or make it, or more realistic, say a libertarian or a principled anarchist gets into like a local office or something. Mm-hmm. What's he going to do? He's going to start voting no on every single tax increase. He's going to, get rid of laws without victims. And a principled anarchist in that kind of position, I think, can do a lot of damage. Let's face it, the state is not going away by ignoring it.
That's it. That's very true.
So what do? I mean, and I've been having this discussion with a friend of mine, Marcella, on Twitter. She's also a co-host on the Libertarian Wing podcast. We've been talking about this, and she's not in favor of Jeff running. She thinks it's what am I saying? Against principles.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, how can an ANCAP run for office and legitimize it? And I'm like, it's not really about legitimizing it. It's about using the system to spread these ideals.
Yeah, it's hard for me to say that working on the inside is actually going to help. However, it can. It's been proven in the past. It's happened, and like you said, people can repeal. Even on a town level or that kind of level, then they can repeal laws. They can stop laws from actually passing. That's very hard to do, but it's possible. I get that. But in the end, yes, of course, anarchists don't want the government to exist at all. I mean, right. It's killing us. It actually is killing us in every sense of the word. Go ahead.
There have been anarchists who've been run for office with the intent of eliminating that office. One guy in Rhode Island recently was running for lieutenant governor, I think it was, just to eliminate the position. I think that's awesome.
Really? Wow, that's really interesting.
I can't remember. I can't believe I can't remember the name right offhand.
Mm-hmm.
But you can look that up.
Nice.
That was pretty cool. So I have no problem with a principled anarchist trying to run for office and do something to at least slow the growth of the beast.
Right. Yeah, I mean, in any way, shape, and form. I mean, so Berwick is in Alberta, I think, Canada, I think. I'm pretty sure. But so he's running for office there. And if he were to, so is he trying to run as in the executive branch there?
Yeah, he's running for president.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, he's running for president.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Yeah.
If that worked, wow, that would be a hell of a difference. He would get rid of the healthcare system up there. That would help.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Also, Ron Paul helped me a lot, and he introduced me to all these other guys: Lou Rockwell, Tom Woods, and Jeff Berwick. These are all economists, and I tend to go along with the whole ANCAP narrative because it's economics. It makes sense to me. If you create a bubble, then it's going to pop, and the Federal Reserve creates these bubbles in any aspect of the market, and they pop. And actually, there's this saying that people believe that gold and silver are in a bubble, and that's going to pop. And in the past, you could believe that, and gold and silver dropped down quite a bit, but it's money. It actually can't be in a bubble. Money. It's a resource, yes, but it's used in so many transactions that it must be evening off. And the way that gold and silver is manipulated, the way it is, or you can tell it is manipulated, is what I should be saying, because it moves the way it does. And it shouldn't be, because it's used so often, so much. Money is used so much. That's why. Anyway, I'm going on a tangent. I guess what I was saying is that this whole thing about Ron Paul, Jeff Berwick, I'm glad that they are running, or Ron Paul ran for office,
sure,
and was in office. Jeff Berwick, I'm kind of glad that now I'm opening my eyes to the fact that it's a good thing, because he is going to spread the idea of liberty one way or another. It's going to be an accident in a way.
Sure. And I'm okay with that. And, I'm not like I can vote for him anyway. I don't live in Canada, but throwing that aside, if I could vote for him, I wouldn't. I still wouldn't go and cast a vote for somebody. I'm not going to do that, but I will give him likes and plus ones and shares and, help him out spreading the message, because that's what he wants out there.
Yeah, I'm very glad. I think that there's a lot more that we have yet to see in the next 2 years. I think there's a lot that there's going to play out. Maybe Canada will become more libertarian. Maybe I'll move to Canada.
Canada would be nice. It's fucking cold up there, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to stay away from the cold. I keep on going further north as I grow older. It's not smart. I need my vitamin D, man.
I hate the cold.
Yeah, it's funny. My dad moved to Florida. He moved to Florida maybe 3 years ago, and he's just playing golf all the time now. He's a smart guy.
Nice weather.
Yeah. Anyway, I guess we could wrap it up right here, Jon. Any other thoughts?
Yeah, actually, I wanted to go back to silver for a minute, if you don't
of course.
mind.
Let's do it.
Junk silver is something is something that we wanted to talk about. You can find junk silver in any transaction that you make around town. You can find a silver dime in your change from Starbucks. It's out there. So here, what to look for. Most of you are familiar with this, but for those who aren't, let's see what we got here. We've got nickels. Whoops. Nickels, 5-cent pieces from between 1942 and 1945. They're the World War II silver nickels. They're made of 35% silver. They're worth about $1 worth of silver. They have about $1 worth of silver in a nickel. Then you've got dimes and quarters from before 1965. So anything up to and including 1964. You can see that's 64. Look how shiny that is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the edges, they're not brown. It's silver. Compared to a modern quarter. This one's the silver. Okay? Put them side by side. And you can see the difference. One is bright and shiny, and the other is dirty and dark. So what's the difference? This 1964 quarter today will buy a gallon of gasoline. This is a giant penny. It's made of zinc and copper and whatever other garbage. It's a giant penny. That's really all it is.
Yeah, the quarter today is, I believe, it's actually the quarter and the dimes are made up of 95% zinc and 5% copper. Is that correct? I could be wrong.
I'm checking it right now. Modern quarter?
I go to Coinflation, but
yeah,
either way.
That's where I'm at right now.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Washington quarter is they're worth 4 cents when you melt them down. Yeah, copper and nickel. So yeah, so it's a giant penny.
Yeah.
This buys a gallon of gas, and this is a giant penny.
Yeah, they're cheapos. They're tokens.
An interesting fact is that by weight, you've got the dime and the quarter. The quarter's weight is exactly 2.5 times that of a dime. So their silver value is relative.
Yes. Right, and that's why the nickel is bigger, because it just had more nickel, and nickel was worth less.
Right.
That's all. Yeah.
I got something cool I can show you here from my collection.
Yeah.
This little thing is 1863. I don't know if you can read that.
Half dollar, half dime. Look at that. Yep.
It says half dime. And by weight, that is exactly half of a dime.
Yeah.
But it's funny, the nickel is bigger because there's no silver in it, but they still need it worth 5 cents.
Yeah. Beautiful, man. I'm glad you have those on you, man. You got more?
Yeah. Well, half dollars up to 1964. They're 90% silver as well. They're worth about $6. Quarters worth about $3. But yeah, you can find these in circulation. Just look at them. Look at your change.
Right. Yeah, good finds, definitely. Yeah, I'm very glad that you brought up all of that, because silver's very, people used to know this stuff. People used to actually understand why we had metal coins, and why you would have change in your pocket. Yeah, it's heavy in your pocket. So what? It's actual money.
Yeah.
Why would you give that up? I don't get it. So what we had for some time were silver certificates, which would replace the coins in your pocket if you gave up the silver and put it in the bank. So at least you had something for sure in possession, except all you had was a piece of paper. But
right,
it was a token. It was a certificate. That means it. You didn't have the real thing, but you could trade it in.
Yeah.
And I'm not going into conspiracy theories. However, a certificate, for those that care, a certificate means you can exchange something for the real thing. Anyway, moving on. So the thing is, I have a lot of silver because I believe in the real thing. It's real money. It's something tangible. I hold it. I can trade this for the rest of my life. And pieces of paper, well, I might not be able to trade those for the rest of my life. Plus, they deteriorate in value anyway. So why would I want them?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, again, I really do have to. Okay, you suggested Amagi metals.
Yeah.
I will definitely be checking them out. I think Michael's suggested that in the past as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't realize how awesome they actually are.
It's easy. I mean, I use Bitcoin when I buy from them, and it's.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, it's easy. I go shopping. I take my phone. I scan my laptop screen, and there it is. I have my silver. A couple of days later.
Very nice.
And you can order stuff like this too. This junk silver. You don't have to just pray that you find it in your change at McDonald's. You can buy those coins off of Amagi Metals. It's typically about $13 to $15, depending on the price of silver. And you get $1 in face value, whether it's 10 dimes or 4 quarters or 2 half dollars and 5 dimes, whatever it may be. You get $1 face value.
Right. I just like to make one point. Don't go to McDonald's. But yeah, John, it was a pleasure, man. I wanted to talk more with you, man, but we're out of time here, actually.
All right.
So yeah, thank you all for watching. The next show, I intend to have Natalie. I forget her whole name. Hold on. Her whole name is Natalie Fawn Danelishen. She makes graphics for Mises.org, and that's kind of a big deal to me.
Cool.
Mises.org, holy crap, So we'll have her on the show, and that will be live June 7th. No, June 8th. Sorry, can't add today. So June 8th is a Monday, 9 o'clock. Be here or be square. So check that out, and I'll definitely get in contact with Michael and John. Thanks for coming on again. You are a host, but I still want to say thank you. So, yeah, so thank you all for watching. Take it easy.